The Atlanta Hawks have just secured a quote-unquote playoff berth. They are basically in the play-in game to potentially make the playoff. They are the 10th seed right now. They would have to play Chicago, and then they would have to play either. There's a lot going on. Philadelphia, Miami, someone to make it in that 8th spot. Whoever loses between the 7th and 8th team. Now, I think that this is okay for Atlanta, especially after a season of not only injuries but just plain mediocrity. This team definitely underperformed. They definitely were injured all season. I would have loved to see them in the 5th and 6th place this year, but it just didn't happen. The play wasn't there, and I think the Atlanta Hawks have a big decision going forward. Now, I know the Atlanta Hawks aren't going to purposely lose in the playoffs. But in this video, I'm going to say, is it good for the Atlanta Hawks to win? And to my point, yes, they would have to win 2 straight games to get a chance to even play in the playoffs. And then from there, they'll probably play Boston. And I'll be completely honest, as a Hawks fan, they'll probably lose to Boston. But is this road good for them going forward? And to that, I would say yes. Because number one, it allows your young players to play in a playoff experience atmosphere. You cannot replicate that in practice. Jalen Johnson hasn't seen that really before. There's some other guys on your roster who need to get reps to develop and become that talented player that you want them to be. And second, there is still a lot of evaluation going forward. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And within this playoff window, it allows you to get a greater understanding of what decisions truly need to be made, and also who is going to stay and who is going to go on your roster. And the third thing about the playoffs that is beneficial, it allows you to build trade bait. Now, going forward, a lot of people are saying the Atlanta Hawks don't really have a tremendous amount of draft assets, but they do have assets on their team. So I would say in this playoffs, we not only allow players to get better, to play at their potential, but to utilize this to really evaluate who we want on the squad. Now, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made going forward. Number one, Clint Capella. Are we keeping him? Yes or no? Number two, DeAndre Hunter. What's his deal? Is he a future Hawks player? Can he be a franchise 3-and-D kind of guy? Who knows? 3, the biggest of them all. Trey or DJ? Do we run the ball back out with those two on the same team in the same position? Do we move one? What is the move there? 4, Onyeka Okongwu. Do we keep him? Is he a starting caliber center? Should we work on his game to move him over to the 4? What do we do with him? And lastly, but not least, Saddiq Bey. Is he worthy of another contract? Should he be an Atlanta Hawk going forward? And all of these decisions can be further solidified in the playoff race. I know some people are injured, but still, it creates an overall picture. Now, in regards to trading players, I have seen players play well in the playoffs, and that has influenced teams to trade for them. For instance, there are some guys that we were potentially trading. The big one is Clint Capella. He has been playing well as of recent, and I think one explosive playoff series with him can build his trade value. I'm gonna be honest, at the beginning of the season, he had little to no trade value, especially in the middle of the season. But as he's continued to play, as his role continued to develop, as he's playing better defense, his trade value continues to increase. Not saying we're going to trade DeAndre Hunter, but his trade value continues to increase. As his points and production goes up in the playoffs, it takes one good playoff series for him to average 24-8 and play phenomenal defense on Jason Tatum for his trade value to increase. So there's a lot of benefit to making the playoffs this year. Now, like I said, it will take 2 wins. I honestly don't think Trae Young will be back. But if they win these 2 games, then they may play Boston, and they're probably going to lose to Boston. But we can get to see a great outing from some of these guys that we need to make decisions on. And like always, the more you get experience in the playoffs, the better you are in the long run. I will never tell somebody to not make the playoffs to get a better position, a better pick, because if you're making the playoffs, you need that experience going forward to build a great team and for your team to understand how to win in timely situations. So, all this to say, yes, I think the Atlanta Hawks, not saying they will try to lose in the playoffs, but I think the Atlanta Hawks need to hone in their focus on getting that 8th spot. It has a lot of benefits other than just going in and losing to Boston. It allows you to evaluate your team, it allows you to build trade bait, and it allows you to build continuity for future playoff successes. So hopefully the Atlanta Hawks have this mentality. Hopefully they want to go out there. Hopefully they're hungry to win. They have to win 2 games, like I said. Is it possible? Yes. Can they take Boston to 6-game series? Yes. Will that be a win? Some may say no, but I think for the current roster, where we are, the current situation, I think that will be a win, and it truly allows us to make moves going forward. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this out right here. And like always, peace.